Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to the Mary and Sam show. And originally, we had a different topic to talk about today. However, in the last 24 hours, I've got some, sad news from a family member, a cousin of mine who's near and dear to my heart. She's been battling cancer. However, the hospital just told her that there's nothing else that they can do for her and that she needs hospice care. So that set something in motion, and we decided to talk about it because it's something that at some point we all face. And I know, Mary, you were telling me as you were writing your book, what do I think about this? And I told you that ever since I've been 5, I've been dealing with death in my family. As a 5-year-old kid, my father passed away during the Russian war in Afghanistan, in 1977. So it's been for me personally, something that I've had to kind of deal with throughout the years. And then my grandfather passed away, great-grandmother, and my grandmother passed away, and another uncle that was near and dear to my heart. So it's been death is part of life. Here's how I've come to grips with it. I realize that the time I have with the people that I have is very, very important. And all I can do is just take good memories and spend my time that I have with them in a positive manner. That's sometimes harder said than done because people can be difficult and you can come across some difficult challenges. However, the ultimate thing is if somebody's lying on their deathbed, everybody forgets about whatever problems they had, and then you want to make amends. So I've personally made it a goal for myself to try to have the best relationships possible and understand that while I'm here, I'm going to have as many good memories with the people I love, with myself, and those that I work with. So what's your thoughts?
As we discussed yesterday about life and death, I know this is a deep subject, and in reality, we all have to face death. Unfortunately, in some cases, it's a bad surprise because when you get the news that you have cancer and you only have a few months to live, plus your cousin is so young, she's not even 60, and she's got 2 beautiful kids that she's gonna leave behind, although they're like in their 20s, late 20s or early 20s, but still just getting that bad news. And you as a person, like I was imagining if this was me, if I go see a doctor and they tell me I have cancer and I'm not going to survive, I'm going to die. Like those thoughts go through my head, and which is a healthy way to think about death, and possibly that could happen to any of us because it gives you a good perspective about life.
Yeah.
Because I believe we all take life for granted. In life, people go through so many conflicts, so much stress, conflict at home with people that we don't get along, or conflict at work, or conflict with kids. I mean, there's so much, and there's so much stress that comes with that it makes us forget about the true meaning of life. And in my perspective, it's all about love, like you said.
Sure.
In the end, it all comes down to love. And when we are faced with a traumatic tragedy like this, that someone's dying or you're the person dying, it makes you realize what's really important about life. And I think for some of you that are watching this, I would like for you to take a few moments and think about that. Is there people in your life that you can call today and tell them that I love you, that you can forgive them? Because I think we hold on to grudge based on expectations we have, or we don't take rejection so well. Someone said something to us that hurt us. Sometimes we hold on to that, and that doesn't serve anybody. And when it gets to a point that someone's dying or you're dying, then we tend to forget about those things, right?
I know, because in the greater scheme of things, these little things don't matter, don't they?
Right. Or we take life for granted.
Right.
We don't think that's going to happen to us, but it may very well happen to any of us. And it just, when you have a different perspective about life, thinking that, I may not be alive tomorrow, not to be fearful about death, but it could be possible for any of us. And because of that, it's important to think about peace and love, because that's what life is all about. It just makes you feel good. A few weeks ago, I had a coaching client that she came to the coaching call and she had a conflict with her brother.
Right.
And I said, what do you want? She goes, well, I want to make peace with my brother, but there's the but part. Is the sister-in-law and all of the above. She keep giving me excuses. She said, oh, I'll come back to this later. I said, let me ask you this. What if you knew that your brother is dying in the next few months? She's like, what do you mean? I said, what if that could very much happen because you haven't talked to your brother for 2 years?
Oh, yeah.
She goes, well, in that case, I'm going to call him tonight. So
right.
do you see?
Yeah, it's all about perspective, how it changes. Your perspective can change in an instant, right? I've been guilty of this exact thing that you're talking about, where someone said something within the family to me and I'm like, I'm never going to talk to them again.
Yeah.
And I'll just rather not deal with it. It's unfortunate because these people are near and dear to my heart, and however, my ego gets the best of me.
Yeah.
How could dare they say something like that to me?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Of all people. And unfortunately, all that does is it sets me up to have regrets later. God forbid anything should happen to these people, because you're going to, the longer you hold on to grudges, the more it actually hurts you.
Right, it does. And I think that's the benefit when you forgive somebody, when you reach out to somebody, that you're the first person that you say, I'm sorry and I love you. Not only makes them feel good, but it comes back to you. It makes you feel good. It just makes your days to go much nicer and smoother, knowing that your heart is clean and you're being nice to people.
Of course.
It's a very simple concept, but we as human beings, we just have so much ego that gets in between people, creates so much conflict.
Yeah, and it's important to keep that in check. And how do you deal with like this stress, like for this family? I can only imagine what it must be like to be in this situation. Can you give us some tips?
Absolutely. I've had people that lost close family members, and I was coaching them. And so obviously, in a situation like this, people are right now, they're not feeling anything. It's just pain because you're numb. You have no hope.
Right.
So people feel like they don't want to talk to anybody. They don't want to see anybody else because you just lost hope, right? And that love is going to be gone, and that person is not going to be around. So I think once they're done, I would highly recommend for that person that, they lost somebody, to go seek some therapy, because it's so beneficial.
Yeah.
Because they need to really heal. And after they seek therapy, it's important to redefine their life, gaining that perspective. What did that teach them?
Yeah.
To change the perspective, to have a different meaning about life. Because some people could go deep and then go really into sorrow and completely detach from the world.
Right.
Or get into addiction or try to numb their pain. Or some other people could say, I'm going to make a difference and do something greater to maybe help towards the cause of cancer, right? To do something.
Getting inspired.
And reshape their belief system about the world. Like, what is this mean to them? Because it does teach us a great positive meaning. Again, it changes your perspective, but you have to think about that. Okay, how are they going to look at life again, and how are they going to lead their life? Because it's important. What if that happens to, somebody else that they love? Were they not to take life for granted and feel free to give love and receive love, because that's what heals people.
Yeah.
I had a lady that she lost her mom to cancer, and she was in so deep sorrow that she didn't want to get out of bed for days. And then when she contributed and volunteered at the hospital, contributing towards the cause, it just changed her perspective so much.
Isn't it amazing? It always comes down to this. If you can do more for others, you actually end up doing more for yourself.
Exactly.
I mean, you can see so many countless examples of this. Tony Robbins talks about the 6 human needs psychology. 2 of the highest needs are giving back to society and learning more and growing.
Right.
I often find that giving back to society is the most powerful and healing thing there is out there.
So fulfilling.
So fulfilling. Not to jump off this topic, but I'm reading a book called Principles by Ray Dalio. And he had a scare with cancer.
Oh, you did? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And he decided, he started from nothing, became a billionaire, and then he realized, you know, at the age of 63 that he had possibly cancer and that he could die.
Yeah.
And then he decided that he wasn't going to work anymore and spend time with his loved ones. He survived it. It was benign. However, that changed his thought process. Now he wants to share his views and what he's learned with the world. And I think that's just awesome, because I made a Facebook comment on his page and he responded back. He said, that's my reward.
Yeah.
It's helping others.
Right. And that's what it comes down to in the end. It's just feeling inspired and fulfilling to make a difference in somebody else's life. Because, you know, work is always there, money's always there, everything else is always there. But what we can do, what difference we can make in someone else's life is such a selfless way to live, and it feels good in your heart.
Of course.
Versus it's just a selfish way, everything for me,
Right.
you know?
That can get old.
Right, that could get old.
So, I mean, I think in closing out this topic, what we should talk about is be kind to each other, love each other, tell your loved ones that you love them, let your ego go,
Yes.
and make amends with as many people as you can. Hopefully they're worth your time that you're making amends with, right? And in give the more for those who have lost a loved one. If you can turn this pain into a cause and you can be the champion of that cause, you can actually help yourself and help a whole lot more people in the process. I think death is something that's inevitable.
Yep.
However, we can work with it. And it's there for a reason, to remind us how precious this time is.
Yeah.
So until next time, live in the moment and be present and love those who are near and dear to you.
And thank you for watching and sharing this video if you know someone could benefit. And keep in mind, focus on what's important to you in life.
Exactly.
Till next time.
Thank you.